And hello everyone, here's Mr. Candinas, and for today I'm about to do the Summoner Spell Guide. So, what does the spell do? What you shouldn't do with some spells, because I've seen some people use, I would say, wrong a Summoner spell. I'll tell you more in the video, and about today I'll try to record another gameplay video, hopefully not too long again. So, let's get right into it. So first of all, what is a Summoner spell? Summoner spell is, or are in this case, two spells that can be carried by each champion. There are in the game 9 in total, but for normal games you only have 7. The two special ones are those two that are only for Aram, and I will immediately start talking about them, so just get over with it. So first of all, the snowball. It just, you throw it, if you hit an enemy, you can click it again and dash. It also works on minions. That's basically like Lee Sin's Shockwave? No? I don't really know the name of the ability. Or Akali's Shuriken. About this one, clarity. For me, each team should have one per game. At least one and maximum one. It restores 50% of your maximum mana and also 25 to your teammates that are around you. You can actually see a circle when you play around it when you want to use it. So yeah, nothing to say about those. So first of all, the summoner spells. Ghost. So with a 90-second cooldown, it gives a boost of movement speed, and you start slightly losing this buff, so you have like a burst, and then the movement speed that you gain is a bit reduced slightly over time for 8 seconds, and each takedown, which is a kill or an assist, extend the duration of Ghost by 6 seconds. So the more kills or assists you can get with that, the more time you'll be faster. Um, Not much to say. You want to use this on champions that wants to chase. I would say like Singed is a really good example when you can just like runs you down. Ramus, I believe that it's good, and I still think on the opposite of what the game says, I would actually use Ghost instead of Flash. They'll tell you a bit more about it just just a bit later. So Nas is also really good with Ghost, and we have some other champions that likes to go like just faster in general. Maybe Mundo, Olaf, definitely Olaf. So, next, sorry, we have Heal. That's a summoner spell that I see so many people use wrong. So first of all, with a 2-minute cooldown, you have to be careful by using it. The spell is, I would say, mostly for the Dragon Lane because of its effect. So what does it do? It restores health and gives a slight boost of movement speed for 1 second. You immediately gain the health, both you and the lowest ally that is next to you, and the boost of movement speed lasts for 1 second. So as soon as you use it, boom, heal. And then you'll have 30% movement speed for 1 minute, 1 second, sorry. Um, this ability is called heal, but it also gives movement speed. So it can be used like both ways. If you want to chase or run away from enemies, it can be really useful. Be careful using it because there is another effect, another line. So I will read it. So I want you guys and girls to get this just clear, please. Healing is halved for champions recently affected by heal. What does it mean? So in this case, we have an Ashe and a Braum. Both of them have heal. The Ashe user heal. I don't know if the game actually shows it twice, but anyway, it doesn't. Anyway, so the Ashe user heal. Both of them will gain health and a bit of movement speed. If the Braum immediately use his healing, instead of like the 300, I think, 360, that is here, they, both of them, would only get 180, which is half of it. So it isn't optimal. Yes, you can play heal if you play with a friend and like, okay, so I will use my heal and like I think it's about 30 seconds. You can use heal again. But if you're playing with another support or another ADC, just don't pick double heal. The best thing is like barrier on the ADC and heal on the support, or heal on the ADC and ignite or exhaust on the support. So please really pay attention to this. Yes, you will always receive some more healing and some more movement speed, but it's not optimal. The spell doesn't give its full value, so for me it's kind of a waste. Barrier. Barrier is really good to just no, sorry, this one. To give a shield for 2 seconds. It has a 2 minute cooldown, so be careful while using it. You want to use your shield when you are really low, not using when you are full health. Why? Because sometimes you use a barrier and you really didn't need it to. This spell is really good with champions that want to go in. So Wukong, he's pretty. I know I'm talking about Wukong again, but he's a relatively safe champion because he has his clone to run away. He can dash to a minion and go backwards, or even use his first ability that gives him a bit of health. So it's really good when I use my ultimate and I go in the middle of the enemy team. Because Wukong, yes, the game considers him as a tank, but I would say that he's relatively squishy. Squishy means, I would say, not much health that can be killed easily. Darius also, because I sometimes do the mistake of going in the middle of the enemies. And probably I would say more champions that wants to go in. I think Barrier can't fit some assassins. But in general, I would say just ADCs and the champions that wants to be in the middle of the enemy team. Probably like a Mundo, a Chinzao, Galio eventually, a Garen, depending on the matchup. So, next spell, Exhaust. This spell is, I would say, underrated, but it's a really good spell. I personally don't use it because I'm a Baron laner. This spell should be used by the support because it's, I would say, another ability that impacts the game and can secretly turn out fights. So, Exhaust. It has a 105, I really don't know why 5, but okay. 105-second cooldown. And you select enemy champion. After this, look at the attack speed. Okay, she used it. Jinx is slower and attacks slower. No, sorry, deals less damage for 2.5 seconds. It's really good if you know that you can run down people and you can just like exhaust them to make them walk slower and also reduce the damage. That's really good to use on the enemy ADC. Why? Because reducing the damage from the champion that is supposed to deal the most damage, it's huge. And for 2.5 seconds. So it totally gives time to your team like, okay, the enemy Jinx in this case is not dealing that much damage because of the exhaust, so I can go in and we can kill her before she starts dealing her normal damage. Really good on support. Flash. Flash, I would say, it's the most useful spell of them all. So, as simple as it gets, it's just boom. Just this. So, it's not a dash. Be careful, it's not a dash. I don't think there are like champions on Wild Rift actually that has something to do with what I'm about to say, but I know taking in League of Legends PC, there are champions where it gets affected. Flash is not a dash. What's the difference between a dash and a flash? A flash, it's like, papa, here, nothing to do. A dash can be interrupted. For example, I would say with Ari, her ultimate is a dash. So while she's dashing, I would say Darius can pull her. If she's flashing, he cannot pull her anymore because it's literally just like, boom, The dash, you kind of have the animation of like going to the place. With Flash, you immediately go there. A champion that also has this effect, which is called the Blink, is Azrael, his third ability. And as you can see, even the game calls it a Blink. So, there are champions that have more value of Ghost instead of Flash. I'll tell you why. First of all, Ghost 90-second cooldown, Flash 150, 2 minutes and a half. So why do you think it's better? So I would say on Nasus, for example. Now I'm running both Ghost and Flash, which is, I wouldn't say optimal, but it's safe for the laning phase. It probably gives me more value than a barrier that I can just like have the choice between going in or out, basically chasing. But I used to play Nas jungle, and yes, not playing Flash, I'm playing Ghost because of like the cooldown and something that people don't really realize. So I'm just gonna go there and try to have the notion about the Flash. Like, boom, just really close to the wall. If you see the distance, it's really a short distance. There. And look at Ghost. One turret is there. Okay. He's using the Ghost. And it goes so much further. So technically, Flash is better for situations where you really need to get out. But Ghost is more value in less time. So think twice by using Flash instead of Ghost. Champions that also really benefit from this. For example, the little boy Ramos. Most of his abilities have something to do with movement speed. So why do you want to ruin it using Flash? More champions probably Garen can be using Ghost instead of Flash. Singed, if you want to play like Barrier Ghost. And probably some more other champions that I just not realize. So yes, it can be really smart not to play Flash. People always play Flash like in everything, but Ghost sometimes it's more valuable. And there are champions that really don't need Flash. Rakan, he he can dash whatever he wants, and he has two dashes to an ally. So one really smart thing that you could do is this for your ADC. Just play exhaust and heal. On top of all, with heal, you have a boost of movement speed. So why? You don't really need flash on the Rakan. Vi might not need flash too, because she can be really safe with her dash and her ultimate if she wants to use it on another champion to run away. Mundo probably also better with Ghost. Same for Olaf. So, obviously, Flash is the best spell, but sometimes Ghost is better than Flash. Ignite. So I want to talk two things about Ignite. First of all, the cooldown, 1 minute and a half, and then two abilities from Ignite. First, dealing true damage. True damage means that not it's not affected by magic resistance or armor. Nothing. There is just like true damage. Boom, over for 5 seconds. So it burns. While he's taking like the Graves, for example, while the Graves is taking damage from the Ignite, he cannot recall because he will take damage from the Ignite. So Ignite deals a lot of damage in the early game. So you can use it if you want to burst your enemy. Assassins like to play Ignite just to, okay, so I just went all in and he has 1 HP, just Ignite. Or if you just want to be annoying and you want to cancel the recall for 5 seconds, which is huge, actually. Another thing, look on the top of the health bar of Graves right now, while Lux is using her Ignite. Do you see this plus with two swords? This effect is Gravenous Wounds. Gravenous Wounds, as you can see here, the second line, it reduces the enemy healing by 50%. So when I play Darius against, I would say, a Mundo, for example, he has so much healing. His passive gives health, this restores health, this scales with the health that he lost, but anyway, basically, Mundo regens so much. I play Ignite instead of the barrier when I play against another too, because physical vamp, so he gains health. Garen can be really interesting against Garen too. Gragas, if you want to go like all in. Usually, you want to use Ignite to secure the kill, but there are moments where starting the fight with an Ignite is really interesting. Just to cut the enemy healing, like a Nasus, a Mundo, as I said, maybe an Olaf that has auto vamp from his second ability, for example. So, talking about the last spell, Smite. Just just use the spell for jungle. I don't have much to say. So it says here that it has a 10-second cooldown. So Smite, first of all, only for jungle, because it has an effect that makes you gain less gold for the first 5 minutes, less gold and less experience. So if you use this in lane, you'll be for sure behind your enemy. It can be interesting in the later game, because it makes you just like deal damage faster to monsters and something. But I've tried playing Smite in lane, and first of all, it's not easy to stack it, and it's just not optimal. You lose too much golden experience from that, and your opponent can just like get over you. So you gain one charge every 45 seconds, and you can stack up basically two smites. If you use a smite and you have like two charges, you have to wait 10 seconds before using the second one. So be careful by starting an objective with the smite, because if the enemy is also bursting down, you might not have your smite again. Smite deals true damage. Again, it isn't affected by armor or magic resistance. To monsters, it also restores health. And if you smite on 4 jungle camps, it can be upgraded to a chilling smite that basically makes the enemy slower, or a challenging smite that makes the enemy takes more damage from you. More. Smite makes you deal more damage, 10% more damage to jungle monsters, and they will burn a bit. But I think they cannot burn below 1 HP. They will always stay at 1 HP, which I don't really know why, because usually what you want to do is like uh, the purple flames. That's what the smite does. Um, you can just like finish the camp and just like walk away while the smite is finish burning the enemies. And where you can use the smite, you can use the smite. The normal smite. I'm not talking about the chilling or challenging. Dragons, barons, heralds, rift scuttlers, and then the normal blue and red buff, the gromp, the raptor. You can only use on the big raptor. The wolves, same, only for the big, and same for the krugs, only for the big one. So if you want to start a camp with the smite, yeah, just use it. You will restore some health, so it's safe. You will deal more damage. So if you want to go jungle, you have to use smite. There is absolutely no reason not to, and just too much value. And this is what you want to use to secure objectives, or to secure finishing, killing objectives with it. So train against bots on PvP to use a smite as soon as the jungle camp reaches that cap that deals damage. On top of all, smite below there is like a number. This number is the damage that you will deal to monsters, and since it's true damage, it will deal for sure that damage. When do you want to use challenging smite and chilling smite? I would say that for real, it's not really worth using the challenging smite, but for champions who like to burst, it's really good. It's better than chilling, but most of the time you want to pick challenging smite. Chilling smite, sorry. Champions that I use challenging smite: Pantheon, Vi, and probably no one else. Even Olaf, that can burst enemies, prefer chilling smite to run after them. So there aren't really any reasons to play challenging smite over chilling smite, but yeah. Oh, obviously the two assassins, Rengar and Kha'Zix. So that was it. I hope you like it, and I hope I can record the game for today. So Tell me what you think, if it was helpful or not. And see you guys next time. Don't forget to give it a like and put a comment. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and see you next time, guys.